There we go. Look at that. What happened there? God knows. It took a while, that. There we go. Intro's already been rolled. I look darker than usual. I'm not sure why. I've got exactly the same usual stuff going on. So not really quite sure why that is. But there we go. We have got a letter with us today. A letter and the letter A. In fact, we have got Beefy here from letter A. There we go. Mr. A, in fact.
Mr. A, how are we doing, Dom? You all right?
Very good, thanks. Very good. How is, are you A-okay?
Brilliant. I certainly am. I'm very, very well, thanks for asking. It's been a good day. It's been a good week in the ecosystem, a good week in the abyss, working on lots of things which we'll get to shortly. And yeah, feeling very good. Very good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm just looking at the leaderboard here. In fact, I should probably share it on the screen as well, just so that we know exactly what we're working with, because we're going to have a lot of letters to go through.
Yes.
I've worked out as well how to actually mute. There we go. I worked out how to mute the music. Finally, because every time I was loading it up, it was just screaming at me. Oh, A is doing terribly.
Well, I beg to differ.
How so?
That music's superb.
Oh wait, hang on. So it says game over G's. Oh, sorry, I was looking here at G 290, and then I was looking at E and thinking it was that one. Well, it's very, very close, isn't it?
Well, the leaderboard, I've been meticulously analysing the leaderboard ever since the competition started. But more recently, the last couple of days, and to be honest, I think our position, it's not so much our position's false. I think there's some false positions in some of the other letters, which I have prepared some notes, and I'll state my evidence as to why. But put it this way, are you a football fan, Dom?
So my family supports Aston Villa for their sins.
Okay, well, if you think of the Premier League table, there's 22 teams in the Prem. Like, we are sort of we're on the lower scale of mid-table, essentially. We're like a top,
like Villa.
We're like the Aston Villa of the RugGame for the time being. But I think our position's quite. Think of Everton. They're in a position where their position is bad right now. But Everton's a massive club, a lot of history, a lot of culture, and Everton should be back where they belong, up the top end of the table. And that's quite like A. I think we'll be doing a lot of flipping over the next week or two. Put it that way.
You sound just like West Ham fans. Every year, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is our year. We're a big club. And then every year they're just absolute shite.
Yeah, well, I'm a Sunderland fan for my sins, so I'm used to a lifetime of disappointment. However, A will not be serving up the same sort of disappointment as what Sunderland serves. Put it that way. Mark my words.
Is it Sunderland? Are you in League Two yet?
To be fair, we had a good win last Sunday against Borough, which was a local. Well, they call it a derby, but Borough's a shite derby for us. I was in Sunderland, Newcastle, but yeah, we beat Borough, top half of the table. I think we'll be. You're getting some comments there. Dom is too fast. I don't understand what he's saying.
But I look cool doing it.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I think I've got a lot to talk about here, to be honest. So I'll let you dictate the conversation, and we'll go from there, mate.
Fair enough. Well, I actually have something cooking for M, and okay. I have made it and designed it so it can be used by everybody. But this is going to blow everybody's mind, everybody's M mind. It's going to be a game changer. Literally, I'm going to absolutely tear everybody apart. You're all going to be begging for this tool.
Interesting.
So we'll let you talk about your utility, if there bloody is any?
So, well, yeah, I mean, essentially the new alpha that we're dropping, I don't want to go too specific and give too much away, but essentially in terms of our utility, so far our utility has been based around community, and not just our community in terms of everybody and anybody connected with the cult ecosystem, cult, revolt, the rug game. We've started our own community spaces called the Kill Tank. I don't know if you've seen of that, but basically we just want to interact with everybody and get everybody fired up really, and just get lots of banter flying between amongst the community, which I think's worked wonders. Mr. Omelet's watching, I believe, and Mr. Omelet's been an absolute phenom for us, to be honest. He's living in everybody's head rent free. It's unbelievable he is. But yeah, we've done a couple of meme buy comps. We do mediums regularly. We've done an airdrop. But the thing that we're actually working on right now, what I think is going to set us apart from the rest of the herd, is we're working on a new kind of feature or utility. Now, this feature is going to benefit the letter itself and the holders in two ways. One of them is it's going to buy back and burn the supply directly. The other is it's actually going to reward A holders in ETH. Now, this creation of ours, we could have just let it do its job in terms of volume and in terms of the buybacks and the rewards, but that's not good enough for us. We want to bring it to life. So we're very much making this creation, this utility, like an actual human, like part of the community itself. Like it's going to have its own Twitter account. It's going to have its own Telegram account, part of the chat. It's going to have introductory videos, like introducing it. It's going to have its fair share of Medium articles. So like everything that we do is kind of about just benefiting the people, really. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we could have quite easily, and we've had plenty of offers to go down the routes of like NFTs and things like that, but we don't really want. Yeah, like we don't. What we want to do, to be honest, is we want to do something different, completely different, and just go down that way, really. And I mean, I remember the podcast that you held two weeks ago, I think it was, or 3 weeks ago. I came on, and I don't want to quote this. I don't think this is verbatim, but I think I said something like, "We're not going to win it. We just, you know what I mean?" But to be honest, like since then, I feel completely different. I think we can give it a really, really good crack. I'm very, very confident in what we're capable of here, because the ideas that we're coming up with, and we've got a core team of there's Artorius, who obviously needs no further introduction. JDM, absolute cult ecosystem legend. He's firmly part of the core team. We've got Andy, who's an absolute wizard at making videos and doing our website. And of course, Mr. Omelette, who's part of the core team as well. And yeah, like we're bouncing ideas off each other all the time, and every idea that we're coming up with and talking about in the chat is something that nobody else has done. Nobody else has touched on it. And yeah, I'm quite excited to explore this new thing that we're very, very close to dropping.
Sounds like some sort of artificial intelligence.
Well, I wouldn't like to give too much away, but it has been sent back from the future to save crypto. I'll be back, to quote.
It's come to save crypto. Is it Skywalker?
Brilliant. Oh yeah, so we'll see what happens, but yeah, like I said, we don't want to just be another rinse and repeat of what other people have done. We want to just do our own thing and just build on what we're doing. Like I say, I mean, if you look at the league table, we've got 3 people below us in the charts, and that is G Star, E Star, and G. I mean, G Star. I mean, who the fuck wears G Star clothes anymore? It was like 16 years ago when G Star was in fashion.
I never even liked it.
I'm just reading it. So subs out, chilling. I don't know what you're saying there, but yeah, Easter. I mean, me and VEMP got to have a load of banter with each other about Easter. To be fair, and G, I mean, we've got a friendly alliance with Shuggy, so I'm not going to speak too much on G, but I feel like we've got a comfortable gap between the bottom of the pack, but we're in touching distance of you and R. Now you.
I thought you meant you as in M. And I was like, no way.
No, yeah, let the you now. To be honest, what Fireborn is doing with you, he's doing a fantastic job. Obviously, I can't praise the man high enough. He's doing what a cracking geezer he is, and yeah, he's got some good things in the pipeline with you. He's had some big Sheeb influencers talking about him. Fair play. I'm very, very confident that we'll flip R very soon. In the next week, I would think. I mean, we're 6 points below them, and I mean, if you look at their volume, 24 hours, it's trash.
$280 measly dollars. God.
Yeah, and like, to be honest, looking even the likes of H, like, they've got 326 points. I mean, it begs the question, like, did Mr. C win those points out the back of a cereal box or something? Like 326 points. Madness. So yeah, I do think our position is quite false. I do think we'll be flipping a couple of letters soon. I think U's going to take a bit more catching up than R will, but I think we'll be taking R's scalp very soon. But yeah, you're going to see a lot more of it. We won't be getting relegated first or even second. I think we're going to be here for the long run. And if our new feature or utility comes off, then I mean, that's something that can propel us to. We could be having conversations about winning the league here. Do you know what I mean?
Not if you're Everton or West Ham, you can't. Or Sunderland, but
yeah. Well, we could win the championship though. We could win the championship.
Maybe, or the FA Cup even.
Yeah, the FA Cup. Yeah.
Tell you what though, this I've been looking at the. So where are we? We're 492 versus 347. And is M still second? Looks it. It's going to be quite the gap to close that, but let's just say I've learned some sneaky tricks.
I mean, I think it's a weird one, right? Because essentially anything can happen. I mean, looking at T look as though they run away with it, like just by a country mile. But I mean, you've got to think like this game could be over the course of the next 12 months if the rugs are 60 days or closer to 60 days than they are 30. I mean, yeah, like after the first 3-4 weeks, T is cruising. They're doing very, very well. But I mean, what happens when a letter rugs and then people start flocking to some of the lower market cap letters because of the upside? So I think things can just change in the blink of an eye, to be honest. And it's all to play for, and there's so many minutes left in the game. So I think it's a case of it's just exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like it's. I mean, my wife would probably slap me for even saying this, considering we've got a son, we've got 2 dogs, we've got a family. But the rug game's the last thing that I think of when I go to bed, and it's the first thing that I think of when I wake up. It consumes your life, man. It's unbelievable. It's quality. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Fair enough. See, Matt's saying why flock to low market cap if there's a nice lead? Well,
because of the upside.
Sorry?
Because of the upside. I mean, if you consider the prospect that a lot of these letters could quite easily go into the multi-millions, like you're looking at, I'll use A as an example. We're sitting at a 50 million market cap. That's like 20x away from a million, compared to T sitting at like 311 mil market cap currently. So I'm not saying people's going to abandon some of the letters, so like the likes of T and whatnot, but I think people will definitely brilliant. I think people will definitely flock to the lower market cap letters because of the upside potential there. Because people trade this or can trade this just like any degen coins. You know what I mean? It's not something that's meant to be held. It's something that's meant to be traded. I say in my A chat regularly, don't think you've got to hodl this. Like, I want you to sell, I want you to buy, because that's the aim of the game. Yeah, dump. So I think people are going to be attracted to, and it's not just us, by the way. I mean, you've got G Star, I won't use them, they're going to rogue. You've got G, who's on a 34k market cap, who's got even more upside. That's like that's close to like a 30x between now and a million. It's nuts. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot to play for with those lower market cap letters. Yeah, it's exciting.
Oh, look at this bloody $155 on G. Bloody 218.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Shuggy, who's letter of the guardian of G's, he's like one of my best mates in crypto. We've got an alliance with G. I couldn't say a bad word about them. What I would say though is if G do go down first or second, I would move heaven and earth to bring Shuggy over to A, and his holders, of course. I hope they can pull it off. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tight, but I think they can do it. To be fair to them, they've got a good 4-point lead against G Star. So stranger things have happened.
4 points. See, I'd love to know how much a max buy is, but I guess obviously it depends on the market cap.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure when to deploy my sneaky trick, whether to go for it at the beginning of the VUG period, but then what if people cotton on and they counteract it with their time to go? Do I risk the fact that it might not be on the 30th day?
Well, that's it. I mean, part of the main part of the game really is we've got no idea when the rugs are going to happen. So I think we'll be in a situation where Mr. O said the rugging period commenced from the 6th of February, which means obviously the first rug can be any point from then until 30 days after. So I think we're going to be in a position closer to the 6th of Feb where it's squeaky bum time. I think there's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of movement between coins, people fleeing what they perceive to be the sinking ship, which is then going to create volume and points for the letter who's last. It's a weird one. It's a tricky one. Yeah, I mean, by the time the first rugging happens, our new utility would have been more than welcomed into A by that point. So I think we'll be in a situation where we'll be a higher table side by then, so we won't really be thinking too much about the first rugging. But yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And your market cap is at 50k. See, there's some other ones. See, if I was looking at this right now, I'd be buying G over A.
But the thing is, it's easy to look at the market cap and what have you and say that. But one thing we have that the other lower market cap coins who's around the same sort of points level as us don't have is they haven't got a JDM, they haven't got a Mr. Omelette, they haven't got an Andy, and the sure as shit don't have an Artorias. I think
Mr. O going to pick a side.
Well, I hope so. Sure. That's a question you'd have to answer though.
Oh, that's true. I often do talk to myself.
You know what? I mean, he's got obviously a lot of dollar signs in his name on Twitter these days. He's put a dollar sign M, or there's a lot of things in there, but I don't know if he's came out and officially backed a letter. To be honest, so it's an interesting one.
M though.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? I would have thought if he was going to back a letter, it would be M, just the same as A for Artorias. So I wouldn't begrudge that to the M community or to Mr. O. I mean, we've got no beef with them. To be fair, I hope they do well. They're not in our targets just yet.
Is that an insult?
No, that's actually praise. Obviously, use the second in the table. We taking things. To give a football analogy, and we don't want to look past our next game. like, and in my personal life, like if I'm like with my business, for example, I don't tend to set like a annual target or whatever. I'll target myself in all walks of life, so I break them down smaller. So um, I'm thinking this next rug, and we want to be safe by the next rug. I'm thinking who's the next person we can flip or R. Let's focus on flipping R. Then we scale up from there. Do you know what I mean? Rome wasn't built in a day, and I think there's a lot of months of this competition. So I don't think we need to rush anything or just to force shit out for the sake of doing it. I think we just need to keep on working like we're doing, because we all working hard behind the scenes, and just let it happen organically. And yeah, just before we know it, we'll be having conversations where we are genuinely looking at the likes of M and the likes of H and thinking, right, how can we catch those guys up now?
So you're going to be you're a sniper. You're going to be creeping around in the night, and you're going to go for the stealth kill. You're like a hitman.
Well, I'm more like a I'm going to use a lion analogy, because JDM made a nice new profile picture for me for Twitter. I'm like a lion stalking my prey. So R is like an antelope in the African plains, and we've been crouching closer to them, sneaking through the long grass, and it's almost time to dive on them and tear them to shreds.
Fair enough. But you're biding your time. You're in the sand. You're still in camo.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically. Brilliant.
There we go. We got who's turning up in the actual comments. I'm not giving the utility just yet. It's too good, especially I'm not giving it to bloody T. T is going down, and honestly, T is not going to know what's hit it. It is going to get absolutely panic sold after M comes and destroys it. It's going to be G's market cap by the end of the rug period. Honestly, brilliant. It's going to the thing is, it might maintain its spot high up the table, but only due to the fact that people are going to be panic selling it and buying it instead.
The thing is, that people, once these, like look at what happened when I won't name an influencer, but there's an influencer that came out and officially backed one of the letters in the lower end of the table, and that was great. That was a massive boost for the scores and for the points. But now it's back to square one. It's back doing a couple hundred a day in volume. So I think these sort of like one-off flurries of buys and sells, I think they're good for a short-term fix, for like a day's worth of like scores, but I don't think it's something that's sustainable. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think slow and steady wins the race with this one. I think it is a case of the tortoise and the hare.
G Star is listing on Binance.
Brilliant.
Actually, we'll probably get in trouble. We're not allowed to say that sort of stuff. Provided it all burns cold, in the end, we should be good.
Yeah, that's a good point. To be fair, it's a very good point.
We'll take panic. Oh, hang on, I just lost the. We'll take panic sales. Take anything we can get. You're going to have to, because by the time I'm done with you, you're going to be begging for points. Absolutely begging for points, because everyone's going to go over to M. And they're just going to be, honestly, just wait. I'm excited. In fact, I'm going to chase my devs after this, and I'm going to say when utility, and then once it's ready, you'll see it. There'll be no getting away from it. It'll be talk of the town, talk of the rug game.
I would love to ask what it is, but I just know that you're making clues and sneaky hints for a reason. I don't think you're quite ready to reveal it yet, are you?
No, I'm not. But have you seen the movie All Quiet on the Western Front?
Yeah.
So this is what it's going to be like. So you know the moment where they see the tanks for the first time. The tank is a brand new invention, and then they feel saw them coming. This is what the utility is. This is you are all in the trenches, especially T. T is that guy who gets run over and smushed. But you're all in the trenches, and you can feel it shaking, right? No one knows what's going on, and then M is just going to come in and just crush all the other letters. It's going to be like rolling up a toothpaste and just at the end. So yeah, we're gonna absolutely cause real mayhem with malice.
You've got to deliver that though on those sort of claims, and I suppose I do too with my claims. We have to back it up. To be fair though, I do think that we're the men for the job. Very, very, very up to the challenge.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with you aligning yourself with me there. I'm confident enough in my own utility, but all I've heard of yours is that it's going to be some sort of strange humanoid, robotic, strange. That's all I've gathered so far. Some sort of robot.
Yeah, well, that was the sort of the clue, not the clues, the sort of the theme that I was going for. But the thing is with the utility is like shit like staking or whatever. It doesn't. No, not staking. So NFTs. It's not something that's going to directly benefit the letter. Whereas our utility is like it's guaranteed to result in the volume. It's guaranteed to produce the buybacks. Like if we wanted to, we could use the entire funds to buy back and burn the supply, which would result in even more volume, even more points, even more everything. But we're choosing to still reward to do less buybacks and whatnot, and reward our holders. So I do think that it's going to set us apart from other people because of that. And like I said, it's not something like an NFT where it's like, oh, it might work or might not. It's a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like you've got to bank on people actually buying the thing first. Whereas ours, like the actual utility of this thing is going to influence the charts and the score. So that's where I think our utility differs with what a lot of the other people have done so far. And obviously I can't comment on yours because I've got no idea where it is. But like I say, ours is guaranteed to put scores on the board, which is what we're all here for. So yeah.
When will we find out? When will yours be revealed?
I would have thought it would be. We're now 31st. I would have thought we should have an update on that by Friday. I would have thought.
Fair enough. What's that? That's is that the 3rd?
Yes, I would have thought. I would have thought by then we'll potentially sooner, but by then I would have thought we'll have some sort of. We'll be in a position where we're closer to releasing it.
Fair enough. We'll be very much looking forward to that. If anyone's got any questions for or any FUD that they would like me to share, more than happy to put FUD onto the screen too, as well as questions. Before we wrap up, I'm going to message my dev afterwards and I'm going to say when utility, and I'm very much hoping it is soon. And so unfortunately, yeah, like I say, I am going to make it public, but there's going to be a catch. There's going to be a benefit for M if people want to take advantage of this utility. So people need to get into M before it's too late. What's A's favorite dish of beef?
Fillet steak. It's a great question. It's a fillet steak with potatoes and asparagus.
Filet mignon.
Yes, absolutely.
There we go. Trying to leech onto my M utility.
that went straight over my head.
Fair enough. A is building massive that can blow your freaking minds. Keck. Utility on demand. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm not sure who we have next, to be honest. And by next, I mean next week. We'll have a different letter, hopefully every week. Again, if they don't show up, you need to dump the shit out of them. But Thanks very much for joining, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment, and make sure that you get on at your community admins if you do want to get represented onto the show. You need people to buy.
And make sure you buy it. Thanks very much for your time, Dom. Always a pleasure, mate.
See you later.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.